Our 11 Investigates team has been digging into the murders of 2 Toledo teens. Search crews found the bodies of KyShawn Wilder and KyShawn Pittman in the rubble of a burned home in December of 2022. Now, nearly a dozen suspects have faced justice in the case. Lead investigator Brian Duggar sat down with the family of one of the victims to hear how they're still healing tonight.
When putting the series together, we wanted to come at it from the viewpoints of the families, the police, the prosecutor, and the defense team. But it only made sense to start with the families. Families devastated by the loss of 2 young teens. And that pain is still so raw for KyShawn Pittman's family that they didn't want to talk with us for this story. But as you'll see tonight, both families were instrumental in helping police crack this case. A case that resulted in 11 men and women going to prison. The crowd of well-wishers is gone from 3015 Chase Street in North Toledo. Left behind, a grass lot and a memorial, oversized teddy bears and written memories of 2 teens forever linked to the site. The bodies of KyShawn Wilder and KyShawn Pittman were found here on December 15, 2022. In the rubble of a house destroyed by fire. The discovery kicks off an intense police and FBI investigation. 11 people go to prison. 2 other families destroyed.
My aunt, Elissa, came in my room and I was setting up my bed to my new room, and she came in my room and said, "They found another body, baby." And I was like, "No." And she was like, "It's the boys." And I just closed the door on her face and I slid down my wall and cried. No matter what. Christmas will never be the same, so can't really be sad when you know it's never gonna be the same again.
KyShawn Pittman, or Sean, was 15 when he died. KyShawn Wilder, known to his family as Pooter and to his friends as KP, was 16.
Oh, what a handsome kid. He was a good kid, very respectful.
After his mother Stephanie dies of COPD complications on February 2nd, 2022, Pooter becomes the glue, holding the large family together with a joke, a laugh, or even just a smile.
He resembles my mom in a lot of ways. He's always happy, always so joyful, always fun, always finding a way to make everybody laugh.
And always in contact with his family.
We just want to know he's okay.
His sisters know, they just know something is wrong when he disappears.
I have my brother's passwords to his accounts on Messenger and Facebook, and I logged in there to see the last people he contacted.
There's a social media trail leading from a party at Maumee Bay State Park to a home on Maumee Avenue. That home owned by Corbin Gingrich, the uncle of KP's former girlfriend. What KP didn't know is Gingrich believed he stole his gun. He lures the teen to the house to confront him.
He was texting on Messenger trying to get a ride. And he was texting Corbin Gingrich trying to get a ride, and Corbin made set up him a Uber to his house. And I found that all through messages.
Surveillance video shows KP and KyShawn Pittman leaving Maumee Bay around 8:20 on the night of December 3rd. Later, a message from KP to his family says he's in Gingrich's basement. He talks with his cousin Amari on a video call. Then, all contact ends at 507 Maumee Avenue.
Me and my dad went over there. My dad made me sit in the car outside the house, and he knocked on the door. And he asked them if my brother was there. At the time, they said he wasn't, but they were lying. I was crying, I was sitting in the car, and I was screaming to my dad, telling them that I knew they were lying, to not believe them, to go in their house and look for himself. But at the time, we was scared that if we retaliated something, if my brother wasn't already passed away, something bad would have happened to him.
That encounter with Corbin and his girlfriend Carissa is extremely interesting to police.
Well, when family went there to kind of talk to them about it, they pretended they hadn't seen them, even though we had posts confirming from that address, confirming that they were in fact there. So that was one of the big red flags right away. And then we brought them in here, and they told us some stories that didn't quite resonate truthfully.
What could possibly be the motive for killing 2 young teenagers? Well, in the days after their disappearance, the motive becomes a little clearer. However, nobody could have predicted how complicated the story is about to become. A call to Malia from Gingrich's niece lays out the motive. We obtained the video through a police records request. The niece says Gingrich believed Kamarian took his gun, but he's wrong. He finds it days after the boys disappeared.
And I guess he said that Pooter told him that he took one of my uncle's guns and he was going back to take more, and now he's missing. When my aunt said her and his gun is still there.
A vacant home on Chase Street erupts into flames on December 5th. Hours later, Cruz Garcia, a man who's known to the Wilder family, posts a cryptic post on Facebook saying, "We don't mess with thieves."
I personally didn't know that Cruz had been a part of it until I had seen Cruz had made a post and said, you are finished or something like that.
For the next 10 days, there are no more answers.
All those days didn't sleep, we didn't eat, we didn't come home to our family. We sat outside every single day, day in, day out, searching for my brother. In woods, train tracks, everywhere, places that he would have never even been.
And then, he and KyShawn are found in the rubble.
It was terrible. It was terrible. It hit me very hard, very hard. As it did everybody else. I mean, not even just family, friends. The whole city really was pretty devastating.
The lives of 2 young teens ended.
I just remember all the good things. Our childhood memories. But knowing what happened, it's very hard to remember the good.
Every time I close my eyes, it's my brother smiling. Like, my brother was always happy. He was never mad.
They say, you know, you're not ever supposed to bury your kids, and you're sure not ever supposed to bury your grandkids.
Nope.
That was Brian Duggar reporting. This is a story we've been digging into for months, and we'll continue to track the twists and turns in this story as police piece together the puzzle all this week on WTOL 11 at 11. As you heard, Kamarian Wilder and KyShawn Pittman were last seen alive leaving a party December 2022. The search for those missing teens began with hope, but ended in heartbreak. Their families and police followed a trail of deception that revealed a chilling story of revenge, kidnapping, and murder.
At that point, we'd received information, wasn't verified by any means, that the boys were being held somewhere.
How investigators uncovered the truth and the lengths they went to bring justice to the families. 11 Investigates is continuing piecing through the puzzle of the murders of these 2 Toledo teens. We break down how police pieced together that puzzle tomorrow night, only on WTOL 11 at 11.